So today's vocal chain tutorial is going to be a very simple one. It's going to get you used to the basics of vocal chains so you're not messing around with the settings like crazy. So it's going to be a little more in depth today, and there's going to be a link for free down below. So let's get started. All right, I'm going to show you a quick after and before. So let's do this shit real quick.
You two fuckers just made the biggest mistake of your lousy career.
I'm white, yeah, I'm dressing like the pole. I be going up, yeah, but I keep the pole. Bitch up on her knees and she praying for some closure. Chilling with some trees and I'm smoking on the dope. I've been getting paid military grade shit. And this is everything disabled.
You two fuckers just made the biggest mistake of your lousy career.
I started with this male Vox Clean Vocal, but it only had these two plugins right here, and I expanded upon it. So with this, these are mapped to the lows, the weight, and the mids. What are the lows? Here, I'll give you an example of what the lows sound like. This is with the lows all maxed out. Versus what I did. This is the weight maxed out. This is the mids maxed out. This is top end maxed out. So as you can see, depending on your mic, depending on your voice, you're gonna have to adjust these parameters. If you have like a more airy, breathy vocal, you're gonna have to put up the lows, the weight, and the mids. Probably leave the top end as it is, or adjust it per liking, you know. So moving on to the Puig Tech, this is where you're gonna boost like the high ends. It does a very nice high end boost, so it gives you some like air. But here's the thing: for this vocal, I chose to not give it much air simply because my microphone that I have has a lot of natural top end to it. So I'm like, okay, let me leave the top end where it is. Let's focus on the other aspects of this. So that was my methodology behind it. But depending on your microphone, you may want to boost it. Depending on the beat, depending on who you're recording, you might want to boost it. Okay, now for the saturator. Basically, I wanted to add some life to it, but I didn't want to completely violate it with some, some crazy amount of top end, So this is before the saturator. This is after. Basically, what I did here is kept the default settings and I just lowered the mix knob and it gave it a good sound. Now we're on the compressor. I threw on the CLA 76. This is my go-to for pretty much any vocal that I do. It just works for what I need it. It works as a good compressor. It's amazing. It's beautiful and it's simple. I just did a -19 input, -25.5 output, 7, which is the fastest attack on this. Is kind of weird for this compressor. The fastest attack is actually 7 instead of 1. Same thing for release, but the release I did like right in between, just to make it fast, just smooth. I was going for smooth with this vocal, so it's like a smooth but fast attacking. You're rapping on the beat, talking your shit type of compression. Very simple. And that's basically my mindset behind it. Now we're at a de-esser. De-esser, bro, it's just de-essing, getting rid of sibilants, getting rid of the S. I'm not gonna go too much into it, but that's basically it. Put it at this. These are the settings I chose. Boom. Okay, now we're parallel splitting. I'll show you how to parallel split. You right click this, parallel split, boom. But we don't need that here. So let's go into the parallel split. Simple as H delay. Simple as H delay. Just simple. Nothing crazy. These are the settings. Yeah, just H delay. I threw this reverb on. I really liked how it sounded for this vocal. All I did was cut to the 250s. I put it to room and I didn't do anything else. Gives it a nice sound. I'll show you the wet versus unwet sound. I'm white, I'm dressing like the Pope. I'm white, I'm dressing like the Pope. Gives it some life, gives it some color, gives it its own room. So yeah, that's fucking that. All right, now we're at the RVox. I'm just gonna show you what it does. It's compression at the very end, so it's compressing basically everything, but it gives it a good sound. Watch. I'm dressing like the Pope. I'm dressing like the Pope. Brings out some more dynamics, brings out some more life. RVox, can't go wrong with it. Cannot go wrong with it. Very good compressor. These are the settings that I chose. Basically, it's compressing to negative 0.78. I did a gate just so it doesn't capture certain sounds in the back, but blah 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 blah. I did a negative 5.3 gain reduction, blah blah blah. You get it. Boom. We're about to move on to the double vocal. Okay, I didn't realize this, but the double vocal is basically the same thing. I don't think I changed a single thing on here. Besides this, I changed it to a studio instead of a room. So just change this to room. Or to studio, I mean. Simple stuff. Oh, I did lie. I did add a little bit more besides that. I added a mega mod. Basically, what it's doing is doing a doubling effect. This is off the Neuro Audio bundle bullshit stuff. But you could do it as simple as with like a doubler. I've been going up, yeah, but I keep the pole. Bitch up on- It'll have like a different tone just because it's different presets. But yeah, if you don't have this, you can pirate it, you can buy it, or you could just use a doubler. Not very hard stuff. So yeah, that's all I did different on this vocal. So for this ad-lib track, all I did was add this extra wide preset from the studio verse shit. I didn't change anything here, but to sauce them up, I did add this Abbey Road J37. I upped the rate and depth on the wow to these settings right here, 6.9 and 5.39. I upped the flutter a bit. It gives it a nice sound and makes it nice and beautiful. These are the settings I chose right here. It gives it its own space. It gives it like this like cool little aesthetic to it. Decapitator. Why did I add a decapitator? Basically, I'm doing like some saturation, some grit to the vocal, some texture so it holds on, so it's not just like, you know, like cucking the main vocal. It's in its own space. It has its own presence, its own life to it, you know? And then I went a little deeper once again, threw on this EQ, simple curves, just to put it in its own space once again, threw an L2. This is basically like a limiting compression that I did, just so I did a limiting compression just so it's in its. I can't. What the fuck? I threw this on so it's in its own space, so it can still have all the detail in it, but not get all like compressy and washed out. That's what I did here. Oh my god, why was that so hard to say? And then for this little right here, I threw on a pan man just so it pans, add some extra sauce to it. And for this vocal right here specifically, what I did, it gets a little complicated here, but it has the same EQ here. All I did was parallel this shit. This is just the main vocal. I added a BX Aura, which is just any reverb. This is just a reverb. Don't worry about like, oh, I don't have this. Just throw a reverb in there. I did minus 10 dB it, and I'll show you how to do that. All you have to do is just click the preset you're using or plugin you're using, group it, then click right here, and boom, and then you lower stuff, and then, but let me get rid of this because that's not what I did for this. But yeah, it's pretty simple, and this is how the vocal came out with it. I've been feeling anxious, pop another 30 just to keep my patience. From my head fading, hoping that it fake shit. She gives it a cool amount of sauce. You feel me? Let's talk about the simple mastering I did. Don't get scared because I barely know what I'm doing on this master, but I wanted to accentuate the vibes of this song. Threw on the J37 once again, up the rate of the wow and the depth as well. A little bit of flutter, you know, just to add just some wings, let it float, let it fly type shit, you know. And that's it. I didn't do anything else there. And don't get scared about this. If you want this, bro, just pirate it, because that's what I fucking did. I pirated this shit. I upped the volume to 2.2. I threw up the bass to 2, the mid to 2. I took off some of the high end, but I added some presence. And then I did all this right here. This is the only thing that I changed, and that's the master. That's the master. That's it. So let's give this a final listen.
You two fuckers just made the biggest mistake of your lousy career.
I'm all white, yeah, I'm dressing like the pole. I've been going up, yeah, but I keep the pole. Bitch up on her knees and she praying for some closure. Chilling with some trees and I'm smoking on the dope. I've been getting paid, military grade shit. I don't wanna think, I've been feeling anxious. Pop another 30 just to keep my patience. From my head fading, hoping that it fake shit. You don't need. Okay. All right. I get excited. My bad. This goes to show you don't need some crazy shit. All you need to know is like some basic shit. You don't even need to know the in-depth shit of it. You just gotta be like, okay, let me tweak this shit here. Let me do this here. It's like sketching. It's like sketching, and then you paint for real after. It might come out like shit sometimes, but the more practice you get, the better you are going to be. You feel me? So the link is gonna be down below. It's totally free. If you want to leave a tip, leave a tip. But I suggest you subscribe. I suggest you leave a like because I'm gonna be the only one dropping sauce like this. The next video is gonna blow your mind because I have the best underground presets. I have all the best fucking vocal presets in the fucking game. And since they're with waves, they work on any fucking DAW. You don't have to be on Ableton. You don't have to be on FL. You don't have to be on Logic to use this preset. As long as you have waves, you can use these presets. It's that simple. And if you don't have bread for waves, pirate it, bro. I don't know. Pirate it. Figure it out. It's that simple. All right. But leave a like, subscribe, check out the preset down below, and I'll be back soon.